What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode on Keeping It Real with Credit. Now, on today's episode, we're going to talk about the statute of limitations and everything that you need to know about the collection of expired debt. So the statute of limitations is the amount of time in which a creditor, its assignee, debt collector, or buyer can actually sue you for that debt. Now, as a disclaimer, this video should not be taken as legal advice. It's just for educational purposes only, and I am not an attorney, so please seek a consumer attorney when it comes to legal assistance regarding this matter. With that being said, the purpose of the statute of limitations is to protect you from having to respond to stale claims. Just keep in mind that the statute of limitations actually varies from state to state and by type of debt. And here's a fun fact. In the past, neither the creditor or its agents were obligated to advise the debtor that the account that they were trying to collect on was way beyond the statute of limitations. Now, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act actually changed that, and today there's a growing body of interprets the appropriateness of the collection activities on consumer debt. Suing or even collecting on negative accounts outside the statute of limitations may violate the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act because collecting time-barred debt is unconscionable, neither authorized nor permitted by law. And collecting time-barred debt is misleading in various ways. I'm going to give you guys a scenario where a debt collector may be violating the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. So, for example, a debt collector may request a voluntary repayment of a time-barred debt. But if the statute of limitations is unclear, a letter that presents settlement options is potentially misleading. However, if the letter states that because the age of your debt, the debt collector will not sue you for it, then it's not a violation of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Another example is when a settlement offer is made on a time-barred debt using the term a settlement offer implies that the payment could be enforced through litigation. We know that collecting on a time-barred debt, filing suit, or threatening to take legal action have been considered a violation of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act by the courts. But what do the courts say when a collector does not threaten litigation for a debt that's outside the statute of limitations? So, for example, if a debt collector attempts to collect a potentially time-barred debt that is valid, but there is no threat of legal action or actual litigation, or if the debt collector sends a letter asking you to resolve the debt but does not offer a settlement, then there's no violation of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. All right, but the threat is not direct, but is implied. What do we do next? It's actually a violation of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act if the threat of litigation is implied. But what does that even mean exactly? Let's say that the collection letter states that the failure to work with them will lead to further steps taken, or if the letter states that if the debt is paid, no further collection will be taken, then that's considered an indirect threat. So to recap, the courts have found that attempting to collect a voluntary payment for a debt that's outside the statute of limitations may not violate the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. But if you are threatened implicitly or expressly or directly or indirectly with a lawsuit regarding an account past the statute of limitations, then it may be a violation of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. So the courts have also found that threatening to take legal action when the debt has passed the statute of limitations is a false representation of the status of the debt. So with that being said, guys, I hope you liked the information on this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with family and friends. And until the next episode on Keeping It Real with Credit, peace.